Chapter 6. Wyvern Attack. I headed to Lambert's store to deliver the stock for our test run. As soon as I entered, Marie greeted me eagerly. "Sir Mukohda, I've been waiting. Looks like someone's excited." "We've decided on 30 each for now, so I've got them here. Where should I put them?" "Then, how about over here?" Lambert pointed to a new shelf in the corner of the store. "So they've already prepared a space. I asked my husband and got a shelf built immediately. I also started advertising to my friends already, so we should have some customers soon, maybe later today." She's already started advertising. I left the merchandise on the shelf, and Marie lined them up properly. "Yes, this is fine," Marie said, inspecting the final placement. "Sir Mukohda, please, this way." Marie led me into the parlor where Lambert was waiting. "Mukohda, thank you for your quick shipment. This is the promised 84 gold, and this is your reimbursement for the bottles. Please make sure the amount is correct." Just like with the Black Serpent, he presented them to me in stacks of 10. I have certainly received the proper amount. My Sand Snake wallet was already full from the Black Serpent money. I had no choice but to put the money in one of the bags I bought for soap. Having finished business, Lambert accompanied me back to the store's entrance. There were already customers here for the beauty products, and Marie was properly receiving them. Lambert and I were both surprised. You really can't underestimate a lady's information-gathering abilities, can you? Indeed. Marie had said that she'd advertised to her friends, but I didn't even imagine that they'd already lined up to buy them. Please give my regards to Marie. If there's any trouble, just send a message to the inn and I'll come immediately. Saying that, I left Lambert's store behind. Now what should I do? I don't have anything planned. Then why not go hunting? Fel, who was next to me, recommended hunting. I don't really feel like it. Well, I am free. I'm fine with it as long as you don't take me anywhere weird. What do you mean, weird? Something like a goblin settlement. I didn't have any decent memories of goblins, for reasons like suddenly being forced into a whole settlement of them. It is more strange that you are scared of weaklings such as goblins. Shut up. It's your fault I've been traumatized. Humph. Your cowardice is to blame. Cowardice? Well, I hate to say it, but I can't deny that. Anyway, we can go hunting, but safety is the most important thing. Humph. I get it, I understand. Don't you laugh through your nose at me. Safety is important. Then let's head over to the Adventurers Guild and see what kind of requests we can take. And so, we headed for the guild. When we entered the Adventurers Guild, one of the employees called out to us. "Sir Mukohda, yes? We have been told by the guildmaster to show you to his room if you were to come, so please follow me." I followed the employee to the guildmaster's room. "Master, Mukohda has arrived." "Got it, come in." When I entered, the guildmaster was at his desk writing something on a sheaf of paper. "I'll finish soon, so just sit and wait, please." When I sat down in a chair, the guildmaster promptly finished his paperwork and took a seat across from me. "It looks like you took care of the bloody horn bulls right away. I'm very thankful." "No problem. Fel also wanted to eat the bloody horn bulls himself." I shot a glance at Fel, who was lying down resting, as I said that. "I see. Even so, I'm thankful. Also, I finally finished talks with Earl Langridge. He's incredibly grateful as well. I mean, there's a mithril mine involved, after all. So here's the deal. He said that he would really like you to go over and meet him so he can express his gratitude. But I told him that you didn't really want to stand out. He tried to insist, but when I said, you should have been told about this, it's the guy with the Fenrir, the Earl was pretty shaken. Well, he gave up after that, though. But still, he's really thankful to you. So that means that he won't be coming back with Earl Langridge in tow or anything, right? Thank goodness. As for the reward, Earl Langridge put in some real effort. For the extermination of the mithril lizard, the discovery of a mithril mine, and the price for the mithril lizard's carcass, all told, you'll be getting 5,800 gold. F5TEEI8 Yundared? That's weird. I thought I heard 5,800 gold, but have my ears gone bad or something. Did you just say 5,800 gold? Yeah, 5,800 gold. 5,800 gold. 5,800 gold. 5,800 gold, 5,800 gold. I understand you're surprised, but it just means what you did is worth that much. What I did? Fel did all that. It's a lot of money, so it'll be paid in large gold coins. So you'll be getting 580 large gold coins. Went the bags of gold as they were put on the table. When I took a peek inside, I saw oversized gold coins that must have been the standard large gold coin. A gold coin was about as big as a 500 yen coin, but a large gold coin was, just as its name suggested, about 1.5 times bigger than a regular gold coin. How should I put this? It's a bit of a complicated feeling since I wasn't the one who earned this, but I'll take it. I want a bath, after all. I stored the bags with the gold inside them into my item box. Just as I finished storing the last one, a violent knocking sound occurred. Guildmaster, it's terrible. A flight of wyverns has appeared. So said the panicked employee when they were called into the Guildmaster's room. What do you mean by a flight of wyverns? From the Guildmaster's voice and expression, I could tell the situation was quite bad. The Western Plains were reopened, and a party of 6 beginner adventurers went there, and some wyverns suddenly appeared. The beginner adventurers somehow managed to escape with their lives by the skin of their teeth, but 2 of them are heavily injured. One of them isn't in danger of dying, but the other one was poisoned by them on top of having really awful wounds. There were reports of lone wyverns. So those were scouts, huh? They must have come for the bloody hornbulls, but they'd already been exterminated and weren't there. So they went for the adventurers that were there instead? Shit! What? Huh? Should we not have killed those bloody hornbulls? But it's already happened, so there's nothing to be done about it, I guess. Wait, so here wyverns have poison? I see. What happened to the antidote potions? Unfortunately, we're out of stock. Then what about high potions? High potions won't cure poison, but it should buy time until we can get some. We have a lot of mid potions, so we're somehow managing with those. Why the hell are we out of high and antidote potions when we actually need them? Sorry. Anyway, buy time with those mid potions. Potions. I have high potions. I took out the bottle with Sui's special high-grade potion in it. Thank goodness I decided to switch it over to this regular bottle from the plastic one I was using. I did so a while before, when I found a bottle at the general store. I also had Sui make some mid-grade and low-grade potions while we were at it, and including those, I had 5 bottles of high-grade potion and 10 bottles each of mid- and low-grade potions ready. Of course you'd have high-grade potions for personal use. Sorry, we'll gladly make use of those. I'll make sure to pay you later. Saying that, the guildmaster ran off with Sui's potion in his hand. The guild employee followed after him. There was no point in staying, so I followed as well. There was a crowd on the floor in front of the reception counter. Move, move! The crowd parted in response to the guildmaster's words. There was a blood-soaked man lying down in the center of the crowd. If I remember right, wyverns with poison use them through a barb on the tail, right? The man was apparently stabbed by that barb in the stomach, and the blood just kept pouring out. Not only that, but the area around the wound had turned an ugly shade of violet. The guildmaster poured Sui's special high-grade potion on the man's stomach wound. The man's wound visibly closed up, where the potion was poured on him, and the skin that had changed colors also turned back to normal. What the heck? Both the wound and the poison are... Saying that, the guildmaster looked at me as if he had something to say. No, could you not look at me like that, please? I purposefully did not meet the guildmaster's eyes and pretended like I wasn't there. There's no way I can explain anything with all these adventurers here. Well, it looks like this guy's fine. Let him rest in the first aid room. The guildmaster gave orders to the staff members as he got up before calling out in a loud voice. Oh aye, you all know already that a flight of wyverns has appeared. Everybody C rank and above will have to go fight them. You don't get to refuse. This is an emergency quest from the guild. The adventurers that were in the room started making a fuss in response to the guildmaster's words. Be quiet. I get that you're all hesitating because it's wyverns, but still you all must go. Otherwise, it'll only be a matter of time until they attack the town. Adventurers exist for just this kind of situation. Aren't you all adventurers? Then, as adventurers, come together and save this town.
Yeah! Yeah!
They sure are fired up. Wait, huh? Didn't he say that C ranks and above can't refuse the quest?
I'm a C rank!
Wait, humans, said Fel, who'd been quiet up until now. Fel's voice resounded with mysterious clarity inside the Adventurers Guild. The place went dead quiet in an instant. I could hear faint whispers along the lines of, "It's a Fenrir. And wait, wasn't it a great wolf? I shall finish off that flight of wyverns." What are you doing deciding that by yourself? Way, Fel, what are you saying? Is it not fine? It will be good exercise. Also, wyvern meat is delicious. Did I not just tell you that? No, that's not the problem here. Hey, that human there, if I were to kill all the wyverns, they would become ours, is that right? Fel asked, looking straight at the guildmaster. Oh, of course. The defeated wyverns go to those who defeated them. Also, if you kill them, there'll be a reward. Good. If that is the case, then we must hurry. I will be able to fight well for the first time in a while. No, that's not it. No, you need to listen to other people more. Wait, no, of course this is not okay. Fight well? Please stop that. It's more likely the town will be destroyed because of you instead of the wyverns like this. Please, just stop. Keep it in check. Master, are we fighting? Sui will fight too. Even Sui crawled out of its bag and communicated that through telepathy. The adventurers who were being quiet and watching us started whispering amongst themselves. Wait, is that a slime? And so he's got a slime as a familiar. You fools. Sui is a slime, but not even all of you together would be able to match it. When Fel said that, the place fell silent for a second time. Setting aside the fact that Fel just defended Sui, isn't it pretty much completely out in the open that Fel's a Fenrir now? Sigh. Even though I've been trying so hard up until now to hide it, well, since I've got assurances from above from this country, isn't it fine? Great Fel, please save this town with your power. The guildmaster bowed his head as he said that. Understood, I shall. Fel said, nodding. We'll be in your care, Mukohda. Huh? Why are you including me, guildmaster? I think you guys all get it, but I'll say it again. Don't get any weird ideas about Fel and Mukohda. This comes from the king as well. Anybody who does something untoward won't be able to live in this country any longer. In that case, the guild won't help either. Huh? You're saying that now, guildmaster? Hey, get on. What? We are going to kill the wyverns. No way, man. You go by yourself. I'll wait here. You fool. I will be hungry after the exercise. I will not be able to eat if you are not around. What the heck? Is he telling me to go somewhere dangerous with him just for the sake of food? Stop whining and get on. Mukohda, the town is in danger. Please. Gee, guildmaster, are you trying to make me a sacrifice? Hurry up! Fel headbutted me to hurry me up. Whoa. I just happened to fall on Fel's back. If you do not hold on properly, you will fall. Fuck, why is this happening to me? Without any other choice, I clung to Fel. While I was doing that, I could hear the other adventurers' voices. We're saved. Yeah, it's a flight of wyverns, you know. Even if everyone C-ranked and above here went, over half of them probably would have died. Are they really that dangerous? Then let us go. At those words, Fel ran off to the western grasslands. Why is this happening to me? We had just arrived at the western grasslands, which had turned into a danger zone due to a wyvern invasion. I really don't want to be here, though. No, I mean I really, truly did not want to come. So that's them, flying around as if they own the place. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 12 wyverns in total. They sure are big. Looking at their form while flying, they were less like wyverns and more like the pteranodons that appear in movies. Fel, will you really be all right? Ja! What an awful cry! Wait, huh? Aren't those wyverns coming this way? So they are coming. Huh. Hey, are we being targeted? What do we do? Do not cower. It is fine. I have put up a barrier. No, even if you tell me that. Are we fighting those? Sui said as it jumped out of my bag. Ah, Sui. Don't come out. That is correct, Sui. The huge things are flying, aren't they? I shall teach you how to hunt flying prey. Come with me. Sure. What? Huh? Are you going? Actually, wait. No. Don't go teaching Sui weird things. You wait here. Sui, let us be off.
Yes!
Ah, wait! Fel took Sui with him to go after the wyverns without listening to me. The wyverns were aiming for us, gliding closer at low altitude. It looked like they would be attacking at any second. God damn it, listen when people are talking! Fel and Sui were around 300 meters away, right underneath the wyverns. Listen closely, Sui. When trying to hunt flying targets, first go for either the head or the wings. If you hit the head, they die instantly, but the target is small, so the head is easy to miss. In those cases, go for the wings. Most things will fall to the ground if you hit their wings, and once they do, you can finish them off at your leisure. He must have switched to telepathy because I could hear Fel's voice in my head. Got it. The head or the wings, right? Sui will try it. Hey, try? What are you planning to do, Sui? Is that a tentacle? Sui pointed a long and thin something from his body to the wyverns.
Ja! Ja!
One of the flying wyverns fell. Ah, I missed, and I went for the head, too. Sui, did you just shoot an acid bullet from that tentacle? Are you a sniper or something? What did I just tell you? The head is small, so it is easy to miss. But still, that was a pretty good hit, it seems. It looks like you got the base of its wings. It will not be flying anymore.
Yeah!
Yay, Sui was praised. Sui's gonna hit all of them. There. More and more wyverns fell out of the sky, struck by Sui's acid bullets. I cannot just let Sui take all the credit. I will be taking action as well. Saying that, Fel created rocks slightly larger than volleyballs and sent them flying, knocking down 3 wyverns. What the heck are these two? I did think that both Fel and Sui were strong, but watching them take down one flying monster after another, I was feeling my sense of balance and common sense fade away.
Now all of them have been shot down. That is done. We have to finish them off, but their meat is delicious. That is why you must try not to harm them too much. In that case, the most effective way is to cut off their heads. Like this. Thwap. Roll. Fel must have used wind magic. The wyvern's head came clean off and rolled around. Fel, have you suddenly become a guillotine? Sui will try to do it like Uncle Fel. Things have a little bit of magic resistance to them, so if you are going to use magic to cut off their heads, you will have to use a little more power than usual. Saying that, Sui approached a wyvern and swiftly removed its head. Did he use the water cutter? I did it. That was a pretty good job. You have gotten the trick, Sui. Let us finish the rest of them off. The two of them removed the wyvern's heads one after the other, and no hesitation, huh? I'm kind of feeling that somewhat, that. My Sui's turning into another Fel. If this keeps going, won't it be called the legendary slime, or something? No. No way. That won't happen. Definitely not. Sui will remain cute, for all time, Jayas. An even larger cry rang out along with an accompanying gust of wind. Ghhh. A single wyvern came down before me. Apparently, there were 13 wyverns, not 12. Could I possibly be dead here? Gyaj. Gyag. The wyvern whose friends were killed was incredibly mad. Hey. Fel, do something. Thunk. 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 The wyvern stabbed at me with its poison barb over and over again, but thanks to Fel's barrier, the barb didn't get through and I was saved. Thunk. 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 Hi. My waist gave out at the sight of the dauntless wyvern, stabbing its barb at me over and over, without giving up. There was still one left. Die. FWSHH. All of a sudden, the wyvern lost its head right in front of me. Blood spurted out from its severed neck stump. Thud. The wyvern's body fell over sideways.
Wow, Uncle Fel's strong! Exclaimed a jubilant Sui, bouncing around energetically. I'm saved. Really, you sure are loud, as if something like a wyvern could ever pierce my barrier. Something like a wyvern. Something that big stabbing its poison barb at me is scary, you know? Don't lump me in with someone like you. I had expected more out of this because they said there was a flight of wyverns, but it appears that it was only a small flight, I see. Sui was here as well, so it did not even count as exercise. So 12 or 13 wyverns is a small flight to him. Wow, is there no end to Fel's strength? Now then, let's recover these bodies and go back. Not yet. Not until we have eaten. Sui's also hungry and wants to eat, chimed in Sui. Of course, this would be it in the end. Ha! Well, he did bring me all this way for food. Oh well, I guess I'll cook something. First, I have to put away the wyvern bodies. Wait a minute. Sui, can you suck out all the blood from those wyvern carcasses? Sui was able to clean up an entire lake of blood from those bloody hornbulls, so I thought it'd be able to do that. Yeah, Sui can. Wyvern blood? What are you planning on doing? Fel asked, dubiously. You know, draining the blood properly gets rid of the smell and makes sure there's less of a weird gamey taste in the meat, so it's more delicious. Oh, is that so? Sui, go suck out the blood. So you become like that the second I mention good meat, huh? Wow. Oh yeah, don't wyverns have poison? Will that poison affect the blood or meat? The wyvern's poison is only in its tail barb and the poison sac located somewhere in the tail proper, so as long as you are careful of that, it should be fine. There is no effect on its blood or meat. Is that so? Sui, apparently its poison sac is in the tail, so be careful. So, can you go suck out the blood? Yeah, got it. Sui started shaking as it said that. Oh, are you going to become a big slime? So that means you're going to make your clones do it? Everyone, go suck out the blood of those monsters over there. Sui gave out those orders to its clones, and they all went for the wyverns and stuck themselves to the stumps of the defeated monsters' necks in order to suck out the blood. The clear slimes gradually became redder and redder, and before long the slimes slowly fell to the ground as they finished sucking out the wyvern's blood. Master, it's finished. Thanks, Sui. I threw all the blood-drained wyvern carcasses into my item box. I wondered what to do with the heads, but eventually I decided to bring them back, just in case. I then thought to begin preparing food, but the area still reeked of blood. Sorry, Sui, but can you also suck up all the wyvern blood left over in this area? Yeah, sure. The clone started sucking up the blood that had fallen to the ground as well. Good, now it's clean and we can eat. Thanks, Sui, I'll go and make something good, okay?
Yay!
Sui wants to eat quickly. I want something good too. Yeah, I know. Now then, what should I make? I asked myself, before coming to the conclusion, eating that while it's freshly made under this blue sky would be awesome, so let's go with that. I would be making a Hamburg steak cutlet. Both Fel and Sui had eaten some already through pre-prepared side dishes bought with my skill, but freshly fried ones were on another level. Not only that, but I was thinking of making 3 kinds. One with 100% bloody hornbull meat, one with 100% orc general meat, and one with an even mix of both. First, chop the onions up finely. Then, make the base of the cutlet. The base is similar to that of the Hamburg steak, but this time I was thinking of using raw panko since I had in mind the kind of Hamburg steak cutlet that was served in stores. So I'll buy more of the breadcrumbs with my skill, since I don't have enough. I'll also make sure to buy some premium canned beer, since it will definitely go great with freshly fried Hamburg steak cutlet. First, the mixed meat cutlet. To make the base of the Hamburg steak cutlet, first steep a small amount of raw panko in some milk. Then mix in the meat, finely chopped onions, an egg, and salt and pepper until it starts feeling sticky. Mold the base into a flat, round shape. Since I can't be expected to eat regular-sized Hamburg steak cutlets over and over, I'll make my portion a little smaller. Like this, I'll be able to eat and compare all 3 types. Take the base and fully dip into wheat flour, beaten egg wash, and raw breadcrumbs in that order, before frying it in oil to a crisp. Gulp. Oh man, it's frying up nicely. Looks delicious. I'll do a taste test. I took a bite without adding anything to the cutlet. Crunch. How juicy. The meat juices came pouring out. It tasted good and fresh, and it was even crispier than normal thanks to the raw panko. It was a simple cutlet without any sauces or anything on it, but it worked well since it was freshly made. Hey, what are you doing eating on your own? Give me some too. Sure. Just wait a minute. Here you go. First is the mixed meat cutlet. It's a mix of bloody hornbull and orc general meat. Be careful, it's hot. Ooh, this is hot, but delicious. The meat juices come flooding out from inside. It's true, this is great. The two of them put down the plain cutlet in a single gulp. Next, try it with sauce on top. I really recommend this cutlet with sauce. Ooh, with this black stuff on it, the dish reaches a new level of tastiness. Yeah. It looks like the two of them prefer it with sauce. Then I'll get to making a whole ton of this stuff, I guess. I steadily fried up more and more cutlets of all three kinds: mixed meat, 100% bloody hornbull, and 100% orc general. This is bloody hornbull Hamburg steak cutlet, and this is orc general Hamburg steak cutlet. The two of them wolfed the food down. There's 3 types, but which one did you guys like best? All of them are good, but I prefer this one with just the bloody hornbull. Sui also thinks they're all tasty, but this one is the best, Sui thinks. Sui said, pointing a tentacle at the orc general cutlet. I see. I prefer the mixed meat cutlet, I think. So the 3 of us splendidly split our preferences amongst the 3 different types, huh? Why? All of them are delicious. Is it not fine to just make all of the types? This is good, so I would want you to make more. Sui also wants to eat it again. He says that it's fine to just make all 3 kinds, but I'm the one spending the effort. Well, it's true that all 3 are good, so I don't mind making it again. Ooh, Sui's so full. Indeed, I am too. Leave aside one of the mixed meat cutlets and preserve the rest. There. Now then, let's enjoy this last one slowly. Beer's amazing. I took a bite of the fresh mixed meat cutlet, this time with some sauce on it. It's amazingly tasty, with the flood of meat juice. After swallowing the cutlet, I promptly had a gulp of beer. Oh, that's good. That's just the best. I leisurely enjoyed the collaboration between the cutlet and beer. Entering the Adventurers Guild, I saw the guildmaster and his employees, adventurers, and for some reason, the knight captain from a while back wearing full plate. Oh, so you're fine. The guildmaster approached at speed. Yes, I'm fine. The wyverns are all dead too. Isn't that right, Fel? Indeed. There was no sign of other wyverns, so that was probably it. So he says. As soon as I said that, there was a cry raised that shook the ground.
Yeah!
The adventurers celebrated, patting each other on the back. It's fine that they're celebrating since the danger has passed, but was it really that big a deal? Man, you guys were taking your sweet time coming back, so there were guys here saying things like, even if he's a Fenrir, isn't it too much to be taking on a flight of wyverns on by himself? The guys here were all pretty worried. I thought it would be fine. But I'll admit I got some cold shoulders as time dragged on, the guildmaster explained. I see. I mean, the wyvern extermination itself didn't take that much time. It was the meal after. I can't tell him it's because we ate afterward. As if I would ever be bested by a wyvern. We were late because we had a meal. Wait, Fel. You can't just say that. Eating a meal. No, could everyone not stare at us with such dubious expressions? Sue jumped out of my bag and started bouncing around me excitedly. Today's food was super duper good. Indeed, today's meal was a treat. No, you guys, try to read the mood a bit. Also, Sui, you're using telepathy, so the only ones that can hear you are Fel and I. What do I even do about this weird atmosphere? Well, talking here is a bit... Let's just go to my room. The captain should come too. Yeah. The captain hastily followed after the guildmaster and left the room. In the guildmaster's room, the guildmaster was sat across from me, and the knight captain next to me. First off, we thank you for saving this city. The guildmaster bowed his head as he talked. I will also give my thanks. Normally my knight brigade and the adventurers guild would join forces to subjugate them, but you gallantly stepped forth instead. Truly, I am grateful. The knight captain also bowed his head. No, I wasn't the one who did it. Fel and Sui were. I understand, Fel, but that slime too? It looks like that slime has power far beyond what its appearance suggests. The guildmaster was looking at Sui, who was staying quiet on my lap as he talked. Yes, Sui is unique and quite strong. I see. I suppose it must be true coming from you. I'm grateful for your extermination of the wyverns. The guildmaster said toward Fel and Sui. Fel lay down on the ground without hesitation, and Sui jiggled in response. So how many wyverns were there? There were 13 in total. 13. Both the guildmaster and the knight captain had put on stern faces at my response. To think that there were 13 of them. If the knight brigade and adventurers were to try and take them on, half of us would have died. I don't think it would be just half, guildmaster. We might even have been wiped out if we were unlucky. Yeah. Really? That bad? Fel and Sui beheaded the wyverns with ease, so I didn't think it would be that serious. Though, when I was attacked at the very end, I got scared out of my wits as well. So that means we were lucky, weren't we? It would appear so, guildmaster. But still, we shouldn't just rely on luck, since we don't know where or when something like this will happen. Agreed. Part of the reason is because this town is peaceful, but it seems that my knights have been slacking slightly. There were people who were scared at the mention of wyverns, and even more who were clearly relieved when we heard that Sir Mukohda went to defeat them on his own. My adventurers were the same. I've decided. I'll retrain my knights from scratch, and I'll make them into fine knights who are able to deal with any situation if and when it comes. That's a good idea. I'm also thinking of taking another look at our guild's point system. You can't really call them real adventurers if they just gather up points to rank up, after all. I'll just have to make them suffer a bit more so we can grow the numbers of decent adventurers. Ha ha ha. Those two are making kind of dangerous faces over there. You guys are scary. You know that? Also, knights and adventurers, I'm sorry, I'm not really too sure what's going on, but it looks like the knights will all be worked like pack mules, and the guildmaster said that he'd reconsider the point system, so adventurers will probably find it a lot harder to rank up than before. Do your best. I'm rooting for you all. I want to go home. Oh, sorry. We've been having a conversation on our own. So then you brought back the wyvern bodies, didn't you? Yes, of course. How badly are they damaged? Damage? Both Fel and Sui beheaded them cleanly, so there shouldn't be too much of that, I think. They were all cleanly beheaded, so I don't think they're too damaged, but the wyverns were beheaded? Amazing. Indeed. Doing damage to wyverns who have a resistance to magic is hard even for mithril swords. Both the guildmaster and the knight captain were surprised, but I guess that would be the thing to be surprised at. Both Fel and Sui were just doing it like it was a breeze, though. So then, are you going to be selling the materials to us? Yes, other than the meat, that is. I see. Then for now, let's move to the storehouse. Then I will be excusing myself here. I'll need to start re-educating my knights immediately, you see. Once again, I truly thank you, Sir Mukohda. The knight commander left those words behind before returning to his brigade's office. Don't die, all you knights. As for the guildmaster and I, we moved to the usual storehouse. It's in good shape. Yeah, it looks like we'll be getting good materials out of them. There's 13 wyverns in all, so there should be another 12 exactly like this one, said the guildmaster to his friend, Old Man Johan, while slapping the side of the only wyvern that I had released from my item box for the moment. 13? That's a little... It's too much to fit in this storehouse all at once, so if you're asking me to take care of them all in one go, it'll be impossible. Yeah, I expected as much. If that's the case, let's split it into 2 loads. That would be the only way, so we can do 7 of them now, and when that's finished, the rest of them. Is that okay? Yeah, are you fine with that? The guildmaster, who'd been talking to Johan, suddenly turned the conversation toward me. Yeah. You guys are talking about splitting the load, right? I'm fine with that. By the way, I need to ask you, are you planning on selling us all the wyvern materials? Yes. Just like usual, everything but the meat. I see. But you know, we can't handle this large an amount of wyvern materials. Even though I really want to, seeing how much profit we could stand to gain. Apparently, the usable parts of the S-ranked wyvern were not only its meat, but of course its hide, fangs, poison sac, poison needle, and magic stones. So leaving the meat aside, buying 13 wyverns worth of materials would be too much for the guild money-wise. We'll handle butchering the 13 wyverns for free. As for the materials, would you let us just buy all the fangs, poison sacs, and poison needles, but only 5 each of their hides and magic stones? They're butchering the wyverns for free, and I'm not at all troubled for money, so I don't really see a problem with that at all. Yeah, that's fine. I see. Thanks. But man, you're just piling up money, aren't you? With this sale alone, you'll be getting more than 2,500 gold. Probably. More than 2,500 gold? Wyverns are S-ranked monsters, right? So their materials are just as valuable. Their hides and magic stones are especially expensive. Apparently, their hides were thin, tough, and light, on top of having magic resistance, making them perfect for making mantles out of. Those mantles were all expensive enough to make my eyes fly right out of my head. And it seemed that their magic stones were always fairly big, so there was no end of demand for them. Thanks to you, this guild's seeing its largest profits since its inception. But even for us, it's impossible to handle 13 wyverns. You can just sell the rest of the hides and magic stones to guilds in other towns whenever you find it convenient. I see. Guilds in other towns, huh? We'll probably be leaving the town eventually, so I'll just have another town's guild buy them when that happens, since me keeping them would only be a waste. Oh, but having a mantle made for myself might be nice, since I only have the one I bought before made out of old rags. Maybe I'll ask Lambert about it since it's about hides. He might even already handle mantles. And even if he doesn't, he probably knows someone who does. Hey, can you take out the other 6 wyverns now? Having gotten that prompt from Old Man Johan, I released the other 6 wyverns. Let's see. This will take 3 days, not counting today. Guildmaster, I'll be taking out the mithril knife for this one. I know. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since that thing's seen use. Apparently, butchering a wyvern was impossible without a mithril knife, since they resisted magic. And it seemed that since that mithril knife was made out of precious mithril, the guildmaster usually kept it in safekeeping. Butchering wyverns seems real tough. At least for now, they'll take care of all the wyverns for me. Oh, whoops, I almost forgot. I haven't given them the mithril lizard yet. Guildmaster, I still have to give you the mithril lizard that we forgot about because of the wyverns. Oh, right. I also forgot. Man, that would have been bad if I gave you all that money and never got the lizard. Wahahaha! I brought the mithril lizard out from my item box. It's magnificent every time I see it. Agreed. Both the guildmaster's and Old Man Johan's eyes were glued onto the mithril lizard. Well then, I'll be back in 3 days, and I'll drop off the rest of the wyverns then. Yeah, got it. We were really saved by you being here today. If there's anything bothering you, I'll help out anytime. Just say the word, said the guildmaster as he slapped my shoulder. Way. That hurts, guildmaster. Damn it, that old geezer's way too powerful for his age. Now then, let's go home. I've got more money now, so tomorrow I'll go look at some bathtubs. And if I like one, I'll go ahead and buy it.